Hey guys, so today I'm going to explain a bit about the force velocity curve. So basically it's just explaining the relationship between force and velocity in our exercises and training. So I know graphs are pretty sort of boring generally, but if you can understand this graph and implement it into your training, if you're an athlete or someone who's trying to get stronger and improve in their sport, then you're going to be a long way into being a long way ahead of everyone else. So basically it's just saying that as we increase the force or the weight or the resistance in an exercise, then the velocity that we can perform that exercise at is going to get slower. And the opposite is also true. So as we increase the velocity, so basically think moving faster, so going from heavy lifts down to sprinting, the force that we can do that exercise at is going to be decreased. So you can basically break down the force velocity curve. So this is the maximal output we can put. So basically what happens is when we're training, so just say this is 100 kilos and this is sprinting 20 meters in under 3 seconds. What we're doing with our training is we're trying to move this whole curve to the right. So imagine if I drew another line in front of this one, that would indicate an improvement in performance. So how we move the curve out is dictated by our training. So here we've got maximal strength. So I'll give you an example of each. So we've got maximal strength, which is, for example, a 1 RM squat, so doing a squat as hard as you possibly can. So imagine if you're doing a squat as heavy as you can. Obviously the bar's not going to be moving very slow. So even though you're trying to get up as quick as you can, because it's the most weight that you can do, the bar's not going to be moving that quick. Then next we have strength speed. So basically it's mostly strength with a bit of speed. So here we have something like B would be like a power clean. So it's still quite heavy weight. A heavy power clean is going to be still quite amount of force, quite amount of weight, but it's going to be a bit quicker. And then here we have power. So power would be like this is, as you can see, where we get the most power. So it would be like a sled resisted sprint. So if you tie a harness with the sled and go as fast as you can, then that's going to be producing a lot of power. And you can see here we've got the percentages as well. So for power, it's going to be between 30 and 80% of your 1 rep max. So and then we have speed strength. So that's a bit faster again. So again, that's more speed than it is strength. So this is something be like a plyometric. So doing like jumps or a depth jump, so jumping off a box and then jumping up as high as you can. So it's got a bigger element of speed in it than it does to weight. So you're trying to basically jump as quick as you can. And then lastly here we've got speed. So speed is with weights that are less than 30% of our 1 rep max. And an example of a speed movement would be sprinting. So a 20-meter sprint, for example. So the element there is moving as quick as you can, and the resistance isn't that great as you move. So with all of these, you can actually, with our normal lifts like squats, deadlifts, presses, we can change the weight that we're lifting to represent different areas of this. So for example, like I said, maximal squat will be up here, but if I only put 30% on the bar, 30% of a 1 RM and do jump squats, so I'm squatting with the bar and then jumping up as high as I can, well now that's still a squat, but it's going to be down here near speed strength. So it's about using these different ones to basically move, like I said, the goal is to move the curve, this whole curve, to the right. So if I get, for example, if I get stronger at my squat, so if I improve my maximum squat from 100 kilos to 120 kilos, even though I haven't even trained power or speed strength, these are all going to improve. Because at the end of the day, if you improve the amount of force that you can produce, then when you use lighter weights, you're going to be able to move those lighter weights faster. I mean, if that's the logical way of thinking about it. So basically with our training, we can look at this and pick, all right, what do I want to improve? Do I want to improve, my sprinting? Basically, you want to be in different phases of your training. You want to be trying to hit different elements of this. So, when you're training, basically when people start off, they're going to be hitting their maximal strength. That's the first thing we try and improve because it's the easiest thing to improve and it has the biggest benefit. And then as you get a good base level, so once you stay squatting 1.5 times body weight, well then we might start looking in some plyometrics. And then, if they're ready for it, we can start looking at some powerlifting here. And then also if they're really focused on speed, we might do some focused sprint training. But you've got to have all these elements in. So for example, if you're trying to improve your acceleration or sprint speed and you just focus down here, you're not going to go very far because you're just not going to have the strength to be able to get those improvements in the speed that you want. So if you want to improve your performance, guys, get to know this graph, understand how it works and implement it in your training.